We're doing equations with rational numbers part 2. So I'll show you some more example problems, and then you will have some problems that you'll have to do on your own. 1 over 7k minus 6 equals 3 over 7k plus 4. When you have fractions in the equation, you can multiply by the least common multiple of the denominators. So if you look here, the denominator is 7. This one's simple. Because the denominators are the same, you just multiply both sides by the denominator. 7 times 1/7 and 7 times 6. 7 times 3 over 7 and 7 times 4. 7 times 1 over 7, let's do that work right here. The 7's cancel and you just get 1. And then 7 times 6 is 42. So 7 times 3 over 7, just multiply, cross cancel the 7's, and then they turn into 1's. 1 times 3 is 3, so you end up with 3k, and then 7 times 4 is 28. Now you solve by putting all of the variables on one side and all of the constant terms on one side. I'm going to move my variables to the right side of the equation. So let's subtract k from both sides. And then let's subtract 28 from both sides. So these will cancel, and these will cancel. So 2k equals negative 42 minus 28. Remember, on the number line, you're already starting negative here at negative 42, and then you go that direction, 28. So that's almost 30. 42 plus 30 is 72. Take 2 away and you get 70. Negative 70. Then divide both sides by 2. So k equals negative 35. Here's another example problem with some different numbers. 5 over 6y plus 1 equals negative 1/2 y plus 1/4. So look at all of the denominators, and you need to figure out the least common multiple of the denominators. How do you figure out the least common multiple? So you start counting by the denominators. 6, 12, 18, 24, that should be enough. Count by 2's. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, that should be enough. And count by 4's. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24 should be enough. So which is the smallest number that all of them have in common? Looks like there's a 6 here and here, but not here. So 6 won't work. There's a 12 here, a 12 here, and a 12 here. So use 12. So let's multiply everything by 12. And then we can figure out how to get rid of the denominators and work the problem more simply. Make it a fraction. 12 over 1, 12 over 1 here, and then distribute that. So 12 over 1 times 5 over 6, you're going to cancel the 12 and get 2, and cancel the 6 and get 1. 2 times 5 is 10, so it's going to be 10y. 12 times 1 is 12. Over 1 times 1/2. So cancel that and you get 6, and cancel that and you get 1. So 6 times 1, but it's negative, so it's going to be negative 6y. And then do 12 times 1/4. Cancel the 12s and get 3 and 1. 3 times 1 is 3. Okay, so there's our equation. So let's add 6y to both sides. Let's subtract 12 from both sides. These drop and these drop. 16y equals negative 9, it looks like. Divide by 16, divide by 16. Y equals negative 9 over 16. Okay, now let's look at these problems. We're going to look at problem 6, 8, and 9. So pause the video and work problem 6. Okay, you've worked problem 6. Now I'm going to work problem 6 and help you out. Okay, it looks like 12 is going to be the least common multiple because 6 times 2 is 12. 12 times 1 is 12. 4 times 3 is 12. So 12 works for all of those denominators. Distribute 12. Okay, 12 times 5 over 6. Cancel here, you get 2, and here you get 1. 2 times 5 is 10, so it should be 10h. And then do 12 times 7 over 12. The 12s cancel and you get 7. And then do 12 times 3/4. Cancel, you get 3. 1. 3 times 3 is 9. I forgot to put the h in there. So it's minus 9h. And then 12 times 13 over 6. Cancel, you get 2 and 1. 2 times 13 is negative 26. Put your equal sign in there. And now, because this 10h is larger than the 9h, I'm going to move the 9h to that side. Adding 9h to both sides. These cancel, and then I'll add 7 to both sides, and these will cancel. So 19h equals, what's 26 minus 7? Looks like 19. It's going to be negative 19. Divide that by 19 and this by 19, and you get h equals negative 1. Let me double check. Yep. Okay, that was problem 6. Now let's do problem 8. Let me clean this off down here. Okay, problem 8. 4 over 7y minus 2 equals 3 over 7y plus 3 over 14. Okay, 7 is the denominator and 14 is the denominator. So if you multiply everything by 14, you're going to have all of the denominators cancel because 14 is the least common multiple of 14 and 7. So distribute there and there, distribute here and here. Remember, when you distribute, you multiply. So 14 over 1 times 4 over 7. Cancel, that should be a 2, and that's going to be a 1. 2 times 4 is 8. So 8y. And then 14 times 2 is 28. And then 14 over 1 times 3 over 7. Cancel, you get 2 and 1. 2 times 3 is 6. And 14 times 3 over 14. Well, the 14's just cancel, and you're left with 3. Now let's subtract 6y from both sides. And let's add 28 to both sides. So these cancel. These cancel. So you have 2y equals 28 plus 3 is 31. So that'll be divided by 2, and y equals 15.5. Okay, let's clean this off and do that last problem. So you should work problem number 9 and then check and see how you did. Because I have digits in the tenths place, I'm going to multiply everything by 10 to clear the decimals. Distribute that 10 here and here. Oh, that's just one term. So 10 times negative 8 tenths is just negative 8a. 10 times 8 is 80 minus 80. And then 10 times 2 tenths is just 2a. Now let's bring this 80 to the other side by adding 80 to both sides. And let's bring that 2a over to the left side by subtracting 2a from both sides. So it's going to be negative 10a equals 80. Divide by negative 10. You're going to get a equals negative 8.